Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Couple channel. I'm Wendy and here is my review for It Ends With Us. The first Colleen Hoover novel adapted for the big screen, It Ends With Us tells the story of Lily Bloom, a woman who overcomes a traumatic childhood to embark on a new life in Boston and chase a long-life dream of opening her own business. Lily meets the ever-charming Ryle and sparks an intense connection. But as she gets deeper in the relationship, Lily begins to see sides of Ryle that reminds her of her parents' relationship. I think it's important to note that this movie, and it goes for the movie or the book, on the surface, it may look like a romantic movie, sort of like a first date type of a film, and I would like to just exercise caution and let you know that it's not exactly that. There is romance in there, but if you just listen to the synopsis I gave you, there's a deeper message and there's a whole deeper situation than just the romance. So be warned about that, because when I initially read the book, I went in fully thinking it was a romance novel, and as I got deeper into the story, I was very caught off guard. So I just want to let you guys know ahead of time, if you haven't read the book, if you haven't heard anything about it, at least you know that going in so you can prepare yourself. So let's get into It Ends With Us. I was not surprised at all that the book was adapted for or into a movie. It's a very, very popular book. This book and the second one, It Starts With Us, became very, very popular, as well as many of other, Colleen Hoover books. So I would not be surprised that after this, we see more of her work being adapted for the big screen. One of the biggest differences I noticed with the adaptation for this movie is that, and this could be sort of a preconceived notion I had about certain characters, and why I had the reaction I did when I was watching this movie. For the relationship and the meeting between Lily and Ryle, it didn't hit as hard for me in the film than it did in the movie. I don't know if it was, again, because I had read the book, I already know the whole story, understanding certain characters, it affected how I perceived certain characters. And I just didn't let myself fall in love with them. But the meeting between Lily and Ryle, when they meet, was supposed to be sort of a meet cute situation. He was having a bad day, she was kind of having a bad day. They meet. Yours, can I be yours? Just tell me I'm yours.
What's your name?
Lily. You?
Ryle.
In the book, the meeting is really, really cute because Lily is, she kind of likes to poke a little bit. She's a bit quirky. She's fun. She's funny. She loves to joke around. And there is dialogue written for that, or like that in the movie, but it wasn't hitting. Her like sassiness and sarcasm wasn't hitting for me. I did not feel like the two of them connected. I didn't feel the chemistry, versus when I was reading the story, I was like, oh, this is like a hot couple. And that's saying a lot, because Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni are two very, very good looking people, who I was like, this is too much hotness on one screen. So it was kind of weird for me going into it and not sort of feeling that magnetic pull for them to have towards each other. So I never really bought that they were in love the entire time during the movie. So when later on there were incidences that causes friction in their relationship, I also didn't feel as affected. For some reason, in the first act, a lot of the dialogue, the writing and the back and forth, it wasn't landing for me. It didn't hit right, versus like if you were to read some of those exact lines from the book, it just wasn't hitting right. However, I will say the movie did ramp up, and I did warm up to it, especially by the end. One of the scene stealers for the movie is Jenny Slate, who plays Alyssa. And when they had announced the casting of who was going to be playing this character, and they said it was Jenny Slate, I was like, this is perfect casting. She's may not be a major character, but she absolutely nailed her role. It's the way she said things was exactly how I pictured Alyssa would be saying them. And she stole every scene that she was in. So it was really, really great to see her in the role. As far as the subject matter, the main messaging for this story and this movie, and like I said, yes, there is romance in it, but I wouldn't exactly build this as a romance because it does touch on, well, focuses on the topic of DA. And I was very curious to see how the situation played out. And it was sort of interesting to see how they played it because they sort of vaguely captured it in sort of quick flashes, but it all gets revealed and works out in the end. So if you're worried that they didn't, hone in on like, this is what's happening, they definitely focus on that by the end of the movie and there's reveal, so I understand why they did it. I also felt like they choose to leave out a lot of really great details and really important parts from the book that they had probably had time to put in if they were to take away some of the other stuff that we spent a little bit too long on, to add in. And I don't want to reveal and spoil it for you, like what they didn't put in versus what they did put in. They put in obviously the most important stuff, but there were some notable information from the book that didn't carry over, and I thought that was a really interesting decision. I do understand why Blake Lively took on the role and want to tell the story of Lily. It's really, really important messaging, and she did a really, really great job, I think, as Lily. I think one of my main criticism for it was that I felt no chemistry. There was no heat, no spark between Lily and Ryle on screen, where that was a very important part as like the basis of their relationship. To when you get to the downfall of the relationship, the impact is bigger, but that never really hit for me, unfortunately. And with that, I'm gonna go ahead and give you my rating for the movie. I'm going to give It Ends With Us a stream it, and I would also suggest, if you haven't read the book yet, go and see the movie first. Let that, be sort of your intro into the world of It Ends With Us, and then come back and read the book so you can absorb all of the other information and compare that way. Because I would hate for anybody else to go in with the preconceived notion that I had about certain character, and that potentially may have affected the way I view the movie. I'm also disappointed that I feel like, especially in the first act, that a lot of the dialogue just didn't hit for me. It felt awkward. It wasn't like a meet cute. I just felt like there was no connection, unfortunately. But I mean, performances individually was still great. Let me know your thoughts on It Ends With Us, whether you've read the book or not. Put all your comments in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.